So what we have here is a 50mm wrench. Got a nut on the drive shaft there that we have to take off to get out the rear diff. I apologize if there's not going to be much light on the time lapse. It was a little bit lighter when we left, but we got the axles out of the cups, or unbolted from the cups there on the rear diff. Gonna pull this off here, and then should be 3 mount bolts, and the rear diff will come out, and it'll be on to getting this limited slip in. So we'll see how easy it turns out to be. Alright, continuing the part 1 of the M Factory limited slip install in Bruce's 335. One pretty nice looking unit. I'm not familiar with the brand, but my friend that just left, apparently he has one of these in his Honda Trans. I don't know if it's a Type R Trans or what, but I know he said that it is pretty good quality stuff and really likes it in his car. So got to find the bearing specs, and the factory bearings obviously will just go right on there. I'll probably see if we don't carry them at work tomorrow and maybe order them and get them pressed on here, that way it's ready to go. But the diff is out and ready to go otherwise, so I just need to pull it out. I'll show you over here laying on the floor. Wasn't too bad of a job, really. 3 mount bolts, the drive shaft that has this big retaining nut that holds the drive shaft onto the splines there. Then 6 bolts on either side of the CV axles. 1 mounting bolt in there, 1 there, 1 there. And then it pretty much just drops right out. It was pretty straightforward, really. See where it lives normally. Not too bad of a project at all. We'll see how it goes pulling the actual diff apart, setting all the preload and bearing, shimming the bearings and checking the actual gear pattern that it's running. But I'm guessing that since it's going back into the factory housing, that it shouldn't be too crazy. It's using the factory gear set, literally just changing the differential assembly itself, so it shouldn't in theory really need a whole lot of shimming, but I'll double check everything with a, you know, the backlash with the dial indicator to make sure that it's not too crazy, or make sure that the gear is actually seated all the way onto the differential and that it doesn't have odd backlash that's uneven around the outside diameter of the gear. So, but that is part one of the M Factory limited slip install on the 335. So part one was pretty easy. We'll see how the rebuild goes and getting the actual diff into the housing and back in the car will be pretty much a breeze in that aspect. So locating the bearings, pressing the bearings, and then tear this apart, put it back together, that'll kind of be the more difficult part of this process. So look forward to part two. I may do just 2 parts, maybe break it down into this part one being tearing the car apart, part two tearing the diff apart and rebuilding it with the new limited slip, and then part three putting it back in the car. But yeah, seems to be pretty straightforward as of now. We'll see how difficult it gets. That's about everything for tonight's video. We'll see you guys later.